to America, period. I'm your host, Matt Sweets, the GUVNA, and I'm here with another exclusive interview with a dear friend of mine, Richard Burgess. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Brother of the mayor for the city of Washington, Pennsylvania, JoJo Burgess. Glad to have you here in the studio. Cannot wait to hear your side of different issues and so forth, because as we all know, you and your brother are like night and day. So definitely look forward to this conversation. And Richard is part of a full series that we're covering right now to talk about voter ID, ICE, Barack Obama, being that he's been popping up quite a bit in the news and social media. And then lastly, a final piece, talk about you and your brother. All good, though. All good. Maybe. We'll see, folks.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
No, thank you very much, and we're happy to have you here. So, Richard, voter ID. Obviously, the SAFE Act is something that Congress is considering right now, and there's been so much in social media and on the news about voter ID. And you hear the arguments on both sides of the case.
Yes.
My first question, is asking for voter ID racist?
No, it is not.
How do you feel about this?
Since I was 18, I always thought that you were required to have an ID to vote. We have to have an ID for everything, just about everything else. But I don't see how it's racist, because even though people saying it's racist, I'm a show me person. And they're not showing or proving how this would be racist. And I got to be honest, the people that's calling it racist are lying.
It's almost kind of offensive and racist in its own right, right?
Yes. I mean, you know, if you get your name, it's easy to get your name changed.
Exactly.
If you're a woman. First it's racist, it is against women. And then it's racist, then it's against women. I wish that they would make up my mind. But I don't see it racist, because we're one of the only nations that doesn't have voter ID. And I think with voter ID, you have fair elections and you have integrity in your elections. So we don't have none of this funny business that's been going on with elections lately.
Yeah, well, when you see, for example, when Joe Biden won in 2020, there was this huge spike of all these mail-ins. And granted, COVID did factor into that. So I do get that. But the amount of fraud that's possible when, like you mentioned, you don't have a voter ID, how are we proving that this person is who they are, or if they're even alive at this point, right?
Yes, I believe it. And I'm independent, first of all, when it comes to it. I'm not on the Democratic side. I'm not on the Republican side. But I must say, watching this as an independent makes me want to vote more towards the Republican side, because it seems like Democrats are doing all kind of things just to let me stir up trouble and stir up emotions. A lot of these people that's fighting about this issue, I don't believe that they're sitting down and thinking about it. I believe that they're fighting it with emotion instead of thinking it out before going crazy on social media or going crazy with their neighbors. And let me say one more thing about voting, period. When I was younger, people didn't ask who you voted for. It wasn't none of their business. It was your choice who you voted for. And so that changed, and I'm still the same way. If somebody asks me who I vote for, it's my personal business. It's none of theirs, because I'm not going to give nobody a reason to pat me back on the back or insult me.
And bring up a great point. I remember growing up, and committee people would come to the door, speaking with my father and mother. You're right. You didn't know who people voted for back in the day, but sadly, things have become more of the kitchen table conversation. It's gotten so bad to the point where if you tell me what you'll watch on TV, I can almost tell which way you vote. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. And here's one thing about me. I watch the candidates and all that, but I don't get interested in politics till it's close to election time. I don't spend a whole year, or I don't spend months fighting over or debating about any political candidates or any political people.
Amen. I agree. I mean, it's very sad how we've become so divided when, hey, you might vote for the person I don't like, but you know what? I still respect you and your
Yes,
opinion.
absolutely,
And that's the way it
absolutely.
really should be, and vice versa, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. And speaking on social media used to be fun, place just to go joke around and all that, but lately social media has given people the power to be disrespectful, call you names. They don't even know you. Call you names, disrespectful, and they just call out your character because of a social media post. And I think that that's ridiculous, especially when you grew up and you knew some of these people.
Right, right.
And you know some of them.
I have friends that I went to high school with that I have helped throughout the years, even when I was on city council. I've bent over backwards, and because of the way I voted, or they assume the way I voted, they don't even know who I voted for. They're assuming it a certain way, and whatever. If that's the route they want to go down, but it is very sad that we've become so divided. And this issue, you would think voter ID is just common sense.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like you mentioned, okay, if you get on a plane, got to have ID. Matter of fact, you have to have a real ID now.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Buying cigarettes, buying booze, buying like a scratch-off ticket.
Yes,
right.
You get some medicines you're required to have.
Certain medicines. Yeah, you could go to the store for like Benadryl or something, or Sudafed or some of those, and you have to show your ID.
Yes, yes. And it's funny how some of these bigger politicians, if you look back years ago, they were all for voter ID and fraud because of the fraud and everything. But now you look at them today, they're either being hypocritical or they had a total mind change.
Amen. Isn't that the truth? Yes, they forget what they said 5-10 years ago.
Yes.
Because it seems like their character and their opinions and stances kind of just change with the wind.
Yeah, well, I have to admit, I'm 55, and as long as I lived, the president that we have, I've never seen people hate a person so much in my entire life. And people need to understand that this man is only going to be around for a couple of years.
4 years.
But like I said, I've never seen nobody hated as much as this man in my entire life. And it really doesn't make sense.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Richard, because as you continue to tune in, that is going to be one of the topics we talk about.
Oh, okay.
I'm very excited to talk about that as well. But so in summary, if I'm hearing this right, asking for a voter ID is not racist. It's common sense.
Yes, it should be a standard.
Exactly. Like you said, every other country or a majority of countries, particularly in democracies or republics, they tend to have elections and they tend to require voter IDs.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Think about it. If you go into another country, that's what they expect. They expect you to have a voter ID or some form of identification.
You even have to have a form of identification to get into their country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Crazy. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Voter ID.
No, I'll just end it by saying that, you know, you should have an ID to be able to vote so that if any funny business happens, they can confirm and they can prove who you are so you can make sure that your vote is heard. And so I don't vote and then somebody else's name is on the vote that I casted.
Amen. Yes. Very true. So thank you very much, Richard. Always a pleasure.
Oh, wait.
We look forward to many more segments here coming up, so make sure you continue to like, follow, share, and subscribe to America Period. Thank you.